Good morning, Patrick here from Complete Health. I just wanted to ask a question. What are you specifically doing to check and measure yourself and make sure that you're continually making progressions in your life? What are you doing to check and measure on yourself to make sure you're continually progressing in your life? Now, this will mean very different things to different people. However, I always like to check in and measure with clients. Why? Because when we're not measuring or when we're not checking, people will typically stagnate. People will typically stagnate if they are not measuring their changes. Let's just use a very obvious example. One of the main things that you will do whenever you go to somewhere like Weight Watchers or Slimming World, and I actually have a client that I forget I can't remember what it's called, but he calls it fat football. They put you on the scales. And they are going to make you accountable for the things that you did that week. So if you did not lose the weight, you do not get the points. It's as simple as that. And so there's this gratification that we get when we see a result. Now, guess what? People on their health journey are exactly the same. And I've seen these same kinds of things in a multitude of different areas. But the reason why measuring something is so important, it gives you a goal to achieve. So they may use this with the ketogenic diet. And then for those of you that don't know what ketogenic diet is, it's a high fat, high protein diet, which will start to force your body into a fat burning zone. But you can measure whether you're in ketosis through the proteins that come out in your urine. In the same sense that I, as a practitioner, can start to measure someone's health through the questions that we start to ask, so we can start to build a report on what people are doing right and wrong in their lifestyle, through the measurable x-rays that we use, and we can use a line analysis on x-rays. We can measure using posture analysis, which we use with every single client, and we do on regular checks and intervals throughout the course of care. We can start to check on people's ranges of motion, their function, their balance, their coordination, their ability to do certain tasks. But as soon as we stop measuring those clients and we stop measuring the changes in someone's someone's profile, what do you think starts happening to their results? Well, the reality is true that those results significantly slow down. When we're not measuring and reporting on results, then we are starting to slow down the momentum. Now, interestingly enough, I know this to be true with a lot of my clients. When I slow down the frequency of their care, and we slow down the frequency of when people are doing their progress exams, and we start spacing them out, people start taking it less serious to look after their health. They reduce their exercises. They reduce the way that they look after themselves. They're no longer coming in as often for their appointments. And what starts happening to their health? It starts to decline. Why? Because those things that are measured and reported upon will exponentially improve. And this has been recorded in a number of different places. And my favorite one that I always use, the favorite example, was a gentleman was paid millions of pounds, and I forget the name of the guy, big business entrepreneur, used to go in and evaluate businesses, and he went in and evaluated Ford because Ford's production line was not creating cars as quickly as it should do. And as a result, they got this expert in to come and have a look. And he literally was in the office for about 2 to 3 minutes before he then turned around and asked one of the day staff what was their number of cars that they had made for the day. And the guy had turned around and said something like 5 or 6. So what the gentleman did is he took a big chalk and he drew a 6 on the floor at the entrance to the warehouse. And then the night staff came in and they saw the 6 on the floor, and everyone started talking and asked what was the 6. And they said, that's the number of cars that the day staff made. And as a result, what did they do? They produced 7, and he put a 7 in front of the door. The day staff went, nope, we're not losing to the night staff. So they produced 8 cars. And basically they trebled their results just by recording and reporting to someone else and creating a little bit of friendly competition. Now, the thing is people's health works exactly the same way. People's health works the same way. If you have an accountability partner, or you have a practitioner you're having to report in for the different areas of your life that you want to improve your health, you will start making the efforts and steps, because no one, and by the way, the most common The most common fear in life is public humiliation. The most common fear in life is public humiliation. So if you have to turn around to the person and admit that you did not perform the task, that is humiliating, and people are more likely to then be driven to go through the pain of changing their lifestyle as opposed to being humiliated by their friends. So hopefully you find this helpful. I would suggest if there is something you seriously want to do, measure it, measure the improvements, and see how well you then get on, as opposed to just trying it and seeing how it goes. Because I always know with clients that will just see how it goes. They start a diet, they do about 3 days, and then they drop off. And I see it time and time again. So measure, change, record, improve. And if you can report it to someone else, you'll measure it and you'll improve even faster. Patrick here from Complete Health. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care for now.